You know when like people can be mortally wounded, right? Like it's not a wound that kills you right on the spot. It's a wound that slowly kills you over a long period of time. And a wound that was slowly killing the Misfits over a long period of time, in my opinion, looking back on this as like a timeline, as like an archaeological dig, one of the things that was killing the Misfits was the constant like instability of their lineup. They always were replacing members. I've said this many times. The Misfits, the original 77 to 8, the Misfits are such a weird band. You think that there's like when you each era of the band, the Jerry era, you know, when they had Michael Graves and Chud, or, you know, that those are eras. Well, even just within 77 to 83, there's like 4 or 5 different bands in there. Because every time they changed that lineup, they got new players that brought new flavors and new energy to the band, reinforming the band sound. They're changing the band in the process musically, whether they realize it or not. We know that Danzig is steering that ship, you know, from an artistic standpoint, but the members, the people play, you know, they have their flavor, they bring their flavor. And so the band, you know, I'd say maybe in a sometimes positive and sometimes negative, you know, way, change every single time they change lineups. And it was eventually they had gotten to this point from 82. Because once Doyle is in the lineup, that's the one. So here's the positive and negative with Doyle, right? They kick out Bobby and they lose so much musicianship in the process. They lose a secret, what could have been a secret weapon, having Bobby as the 5th member of the band. It's funny, I was just revisiting this while I was watching the interview with Kenny, and boy, oh my God, it's so great to hear Kenny talk about it. But he's right. If they had been a 5-piece, they would have been unstoppable. So you're losing the guy with the licks, with the leads, who has the finesse, and you're replacing him with a solid, for the most part, rhythm player who kind of flies off the rails, just barely doesn't fly off the rails. That's the Misfits. They're barreling down with crazy amounts of speed and barely connecting with the track, you know? But the positive to that is Doyle is now in the band. So they're not going to lose another guitarist. And frankly, they never did. I mean, they pretty much didn't lose another guitarist. I mean, yes, Doyle left, and, you know, you had Uncle Dez come in. You had Jerry Jr., Jerry Other come in. But I mean, put that aside. Doyle has been the sole guitarist since that time. And now they have AC, and now they sound friggin' phenomenal. It just proves the point about Bobby. Imagine if it was Bobby instead of AC. No offense to AC. So Doyle has sort of stabilized some things because now they don't have to worry about a guitar player. Not only is he Jerry's brother, but he lives with Jerry. It's like the perfect situation for going out on a tour, in the sense of, you know, yeah, Doyle's still in high school. He joined the band in 1980 when he was 16 years old, but he's also in Jerry's pocket, under Jerry's wing and Glenn's wing. Those guys who, again, what did Glenn always want from the beginning? And it's something that I'll explore even more in depth in the documentary They Came from Lodi. Glenn always wanted people that he could mold, to the extent that's what Jerry only did with Michael Graves with the 95 Misfits. They wanted guys they could mold. Why? Because, well, for a lot of reasons. But I can tell you, as a filmmaker, I understand that, in the sense that, I don't know about any of you out there, but I'll say this. I will take a guy with a belly full of passion and who's competent and shows up on time and puts 1,000% into what they do, even if they don't have the skill yet. I would rather take that guy than take the guy who has too much skill, might be too fucking cocky. You know what I'm saying? It creates this. It's an amazing thing when you find someone like that. When you find someone who wants to be there, who wants to put in 100,000%, who doesn't view it as a job, who doesn't, who is going to show up. You know what I mean? That's something that is so hard to do when you're doing something creative or artistic. It's so hard, especially when there is no money, in the sense of like with the Misfits, at least at this time, there was no money. But little did these guys know that they were essentially investing in their pension, with things the way the things are going today.